My amazing friends at Believers Chapel, I hope the sun is out in Allegheny this morning. I am so excited to make a video for you. I think I need to shave, actually. See the white? Whatever. They say that's wisdom, but that remains to be seen. Anyway, I wanted to make you a video in regards to letter fundraising. Okay, so this is the major way that we often do fundraising. We're gonna try to do fundraising with your church, whether it's brainstorming about spaghetti dinners or Seth said a 5K, and I was like, okay, a 5K. But there's different areas that you can do fundraising corporately, as a group, as a church. But in this email that this link is attached to, there's a few documents in there. One of them is a tracker that helps you put down all of the people that you have sent letters to. And then there's another about brainstorming those people. But before those are pretty self-explanatory. I also included sort of a sample letter for you guys to look at. But what I want to concentrate on is I mentioned this just a little bit in our meeting on Sunday, and that was, am I just asking for money from people? Am I just writing letters to beg people for money? And the answer is no. And here's one of the major reasons. I would consider you, or I would ask you to consider not giving people in your congregation letters at all. And in fact, maybe there are a few people in the congregation that you would ask for letters, and that's totally okay. But in the majority, this would be a great opportunity for you to be able to share the gospel with your coworkers, with your teachers, with your boss, with a bunch of different people that maybe don't know that you're a Christian or do, that are always looking for both philanthropic and spiritual things to be able to partner with. And these letters need to go forth to people that, you know, really want to give to things, and they want to give to things that they know. And so this is an opportunity for you to be able to create robust conversations about gospel things, just spiritual conversations about, okay, I'm going on a missions trip, but why am I going on a missions trip? You know, I'm asking you for money, and yeah, it'll go to philanthropy and crafts and VBS supplies and food and those kinds of things. But I'm doing it for a purpose. I'm doing it because Jesus came and died for the world, and he, as an outpouring, has asked us to go into all the world and create disciples. And we can do that both with our voice, we can do that with evangelism and those kinds of things, but we can also meet tangible needs. We can be Christ's hands and feet in a place where they are less able than we are. And so having those conversations with your boss, or having them with your coworkers, or, you know, long lost Aunt Jeannie who lives in Oklahoma, giving her a call on the phone, that kind of thing is just creating an opportunity for you to bridge some gaps in a community that you might not necessarily have the ability to just come out and be like, do you know Jesus? But this is sort of this is a mechanism, a catalyst for your own spiritual formation, and being able to get after some people in your community that you might not ordinarily have spiritual conversations with. And you just never know who the Spirit is going to touch. Secondly, as far as just asking for money, when it comes to giving, like for me as a missionary that is on financial support and that kind of thing, I really had to get over the fact that I am asking people for money. I don't have a real job, and therefore they need to support me in my not real job. And the problem with that is that it's simply not true. The gospel and the proclaimers of the gospel, even in the Bible with Paul, they, you know, a preacher and a missionary and a pastor are worth being supported for the ministry that they do. And it is the mechanism of the church to be able to give. And so it's really important for you guys to realize that, yeah, this is a viable reason for us to be asking people to give. Secondarily, you are asking for an exchange. There are people that would love to go on the trip that can't go. They've got small children, they've got jobs that have taken them away in October, they can't go. But instead of going, you go. but they can give. And so even though, you know, they would love to go, and they would love to be able to pay the $1,500 to be able to go on the trip, they can't. And so instead of raising money to go themselves, they send you. And the church sends people all the time. And it doesn't matter whether it's 10 years on the mission field in some backwater African village, or whether it's going with SCORE. We are sending missionaries to go do gospel ministry. And that is worth something. That is worth people giving. And so I, in myself, in my own flesh, had to really work through the fact that, no, I'm not asking for money. I'm asking for an exchange. I'm asking for people to give to me so I can go. I'm not asking them to just give of themselves because, oh, boo-hoo, Jesse needs a handout. No, Jesse doesn't need a handout. He needs to go do a job and work hard and be passionate about the things that God has put on his heart. And it's the same thing for you guys, that God has ordained this ministry to be able to send forth people into all the world to do gospel ministry, and that they can help with that. And that's so exciting. I want to add one other thing as far as the letters are concerned. You're going to get this attachment. You might download it on your computer, okay? It's this white piece of paper with a bunch of letters on it. That is not really acceptable, because people get letters that are form letters all the time. And they get them and they're like, it's a bank thing. Or, it's DirecTV trying to get me to upgrade my package. Or, it's coupons to the local, Tops or Wegmans or whatever. And it's just like, we've become saturated with tons of commercial, paper mail, that we need to be able to differentiate ourselves a bit. And it's so important in the way that you form the letter that, listen, use cardstock. Use different color paper. I mean, not even just different fonts, the different kind of script that you use. Take the form letter that I wrote and make it your own. Add your picture on there so people know what you look like if you're sending it to people that haven't seen you for a while. Put the Dominican flag on there. There's all sorts of different creative things. And then, at the end, sign your name for real. And it takes some time. If you're going to send out 70 letters, it takes time. But I would not only just write the letter. You know what? If you're sending the letter to Uncle Tim and Aunt Dorothy, you might not have talked to them since the last family outing like 5 years ago. And it's really important for you to get your pen out, and on the bottom of the letter asking for money, you say, hey, Uncle Tim, Aunt Dorothy, I sincerely hope that you're doing well. I remember our conversation we had talking about your dog wasn't feeling good. How are things going at your house? And that allows you to be able to have a conversation with them, which is awesome. And they get to see, like, it's your script on the paper, which is so important. You need to be able to have a personal touch, whether it's with your picture, but definitely with your signature in a little note written to each person, so that they know that, hey, I not only am asking for money from you, but I have value in giving this. And that I'm not just doing it flippantly. I didn't send 1 million of these letters out to everybody in my contacts, but that I am truly thinking of you. I have my thought of you and the picture of you in my mind, and I want you to partner with me specifically. And so those are just a few things to think about, and you can watch this video, you can send me email, any of that kind of stuff. But after you start, brainstorming those people and writing those people down, spend a good time going through the letter, and so I sort of put a generic form letter. And you're right, if you ask, well, how am I supposed to put in a letter what I don't exactly know we're going to be doing? And it's really important, even in that letter, even if you don't know specifics, I've put a few things that we know that we are going to be doing, and that's really exciting. Food distribution and doing some VBS stuff and that kind of thing. There's going to be a bunch of different things that we're going to be able to do. So even at this point, without specifics, you're going to be able to give them enough general information to be able to satisfy the fact that you're worthy of giving to. So Anyway, I just threw a whole bunch of stuff at you. I don't want to make this video more than 10 minutes, but feel free to bother Seth. He knows everything. No, I'm kidding. You could email me. I would love to be able to go through some things with you. So I am so excited to get to know you. So grateful for Believers Chapel. Love you guys. All right, bye.